This is my first time I've done a plan with me video, and I did it, or I'm recording it, because I have been watching them myself since March or so. Oh, there's a mosquito in here. So I'm trying to do like a one-shot type video because those are my favorites. And my favorites usually have this overhead shot, but it's not very good yet. So that's why I have a couple other options just in case. So my plan is to put out a plan with me video every Sunday because I'm doing it anyway. And so I thought how fun it would be if you have on Sunday, because I think that's when a lot of people do their planning, if you have a video that you can plan alongside with me with. And I can be part of this cool Plan With Me community that's going on YouTube. So I'm going to do Plan With Me on Sundays, and then I'm hopefully going to do some kind of Write With Me for Artist's Way, and because that's what I'm going through. I'm on week 3 of the Artist's Way self-recovery system, and there's 12 weeks total, so I want to do, on Wednesdays, I want to do like a Write With Me thing. So anyway, I just spent way too long talking about that. Moving on, and I do have notes. I'll try not to just like read verbatim from it, but I might need to. So the way that I plan is that every week, I usually start on a Friday morning to kind of just review the week at hand and figure out what it is that I still have left to do. And then after that, what I do is I go through and start just making notes. And then I'll usually finish up by Saturday afternoon. But it's Saturday afternoon now, and we need to go to the lake. And so I'm going to make this as quick as possible. But I started using the Passion Planner back in end of February. And before that, I had used the free versions off and on, just like whenever I really felt like I needed to be organized or to have a grip on what was going on in reality. But I just was pretty anti-planner because I used everything online. I used Trello and I used Google Calendar, and I didn't want to have to do any kind of extra planning thing. If anything, I used a journal, which I used to use a journal, and I keep my checklists and to-do lists and all notes and everything in the journal, but I didn't use any kind of planning system. Well, that's not true. I've used a few different kinds. I used Erin Condren and a couple other ones, but nothing like as good as I've been doing with Passion Planner the last few months. And so right now, what created the need to use the Passion Planner and why I ended up buying it was, well, first of all, it was half off when I bought it. And then I was like, oh, well, it's only $9. I'm just going to get it. And then also I committed to it because in March I was doing a 20,000 steps a day thing. We were in San Diego, and I thought, I'm going to do this 20K steps a day. And it was really fun. I tracked it using my Passion Planner. And I planned things out, places to go, and then the pandemic happened. And then I ended up using it for a few other challenges. And so it's been really fun. That's one of the reasons why I use the Passion Planner, is for challenges and really mapping things out. The reason why I love watching Plan With Me videos is because it's such an act of creativity. Not only do a lot of women decorate, which I'm not a decorate planner. I'm very much like a practical, using it for my goals type planner. But one of the reasons why I love it is because it's such an act of creativity, not only in that you're, creating cool things like I was talking about, but you're creating your future. You're creating how it is that you're going to be living your life in the last week. Look at these little boogers. They want to go to the lake, so I'm going to be fast. I do themes and event overviews. So if there's, for example, if I have a theme for homeschooling especially, I would plan it out through a planner. I would usually print something out and make that possible. So I'm writing it out. And then I use that in conjunction with Trello and Google Calendar, of course. For goal setting, Passion Planner is really the ultimate. And I've used this before. They have free downloads. And so I'd recommend checking that out if you don't have a system of your own. Just print out the free downloads, and it walks you through brainstorming and the ability to set out really clear and easy to remember, and just like, I don't know, it just clarifies everything in your mind. And then, the other reason why I use the Passion Planner rather than just what I had done before with the journal and kind of like free, whatever, just being more free about planning, is because there's a lot of satisfaction that comes with having it in one space where all of your goals and all of the things that you were working on are checked off, and you can see, oh, I am able to reach my goal, or I didn't reach my goal because of X, Y, and Z. I wasn't able to accomplish this, and therefore I did not end up getting what it is that I want. And then finally, I started using a pencil. Another little point. I started using this pencil. It's a specific brand of pencil, and I really, really like this one. With homeschooling, we've gone through a lot of different pencils, and I have a very passionate point of view on why to use a pencil with a planner, but I'm not going to go into it right now because we need to get to the lake. Other than the Passion Planner, I've used other planners in the past. And the reason why I picked this one was, like I said, because of the settings or the strategy within it. So it's not just like a cute little place that you can sit down, events and dates and times and appointments and things like that. There's an actual strategy behind it. It's all about achieving your goals and living like your ideal life, and I like that. So beyond the Passion Planner, I also use Google Calendar for events and reminders and Google Sheets for budgeting. I really prefer to use a spreadsheet where I can input numbers myself. I think it's a lot of fun to play with the numbers, and you have to have some discipline as far as updating it, which I really appreciate. Then finally, I use Trello. That's something I've used for a really long time. As you can see here on my little Trello boards, and that's all the places I have with resources. So it's really easy to grab those links, and here you can see I have Google Calendar. So going back to actually getting to the planning part of this video. Apart from those two tools, so when I'm planning my week ahead or my month ahead, those are the tools that I have with me at the time, which I can also use with my phone. I can bring my phone to the skate park, and while my kids are skating, I can have the Passion Planner out and my phone and kind of make notes that way. And I also always carry these along with me. It is my she cards is what I'm calling them. Their Sidetracked Home Executive System. It's something I read when Wyatt was 1 and I was doing a full-time job and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Oh, this, by the way, is the best pencil sharpener out there. I got it for kids homeschooling stuff a long, long time ago. As you can see, there's lots of love to it, but I always have that behind me. So my sheet cards are really well worn. I've had this set for a couple years now that I use. And so when I'm starting the new week out, I organize my sheet cards. I haven't been doing that. So I am a bit behind, as you can see, on this. And I'll go into another video how I actually use this. I'm not going to do it today because I'm limited on time. But I use my sheet cards too, and that is for organizing essentially like the cleaning part of my life. Every day has a specific task at hand, and I like to just have them on me at all times, and I kind of organize them and go through them whenever I have a break in my day or if I'm out and about. And then finally, there's 2 more tools that I'm using for making sure that I have a good week. The first one being our monthly family councils. We've been doing this since last January, so over a year and a half now. And it is really helpful for me. I have a set of, I think, 7 questions where we sit around the table. The kids get to pick out the treat. They go over it in Sidetracked Home Executive. And there's other things you can do for it. And everyone has their own little family council. I also know that a lot of families that are practicing Mormons will do a family council weekly, and so I've gone on and looked at what they do. I'm not a practicing Mormon. I'm not a Mormon at all, but I think there's a lot as far as the family structure goes, that a lot to learn from them. So anyway, using the family councils is another tool. And then finally, the Artist Way. That's what I was talking about earlier with my Wednesday Artist Way morning stuff. I've now been using my journal as a space to work through the tasks each week. The Artist Way is here. It's a book I've read in the past. I read it a few years ago when I was kind of feeling stuck and not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't do it though. The thing is, I just kind of read through it, and I really loved the idea of morning pages, but I didn't ever commit to it. And so I committed the last family council as my goal to starting the Artist Way and doing it as an actual recovery program. It's really good. I recommend it. So with that, the other tools that I have are this pen. I really love this pen. It's like a fine point pen. A lot of people, I'm sure, in the planning community use this pen. I have a binder that has all of my morning pages towards the back. At the front is blank pages, so it's easy to access. And then there's the rules for the Artist Way, the challenge that you're going through for 12 weeks. I wrote those out so I could see, and at the very bottom it has like this little sign that you're supposed to read every day. So I really like the Artist Way and recommend it for anyone that feels stuck. So I'm almost done. Oh my gosh. All right. So moving ahead, the first thing that I would do when I organize my week, which I'll do in another week, but this is kind of just like trying to get me to get started on this, is that I would organize my sheet cards. I'm going to do this while I'm at the lake. I just bring this with me, I organize the cards, and I'll do another video on just the cards in the future. Then I move on, and so sidetracked home executive, the whole idea is that you are a home executive running like your household. And in many cases, my case, and probably a lot of women, you really do have to be the executive of your home. You have side businesses, you have full-time jobs. Most women are now at some form or another homeschooling their children. I promise their dad is also outside with them, so they're not just like running around outside. And so we have a lot going on, and maybe you had a house cleaner in the past and now you don't have a house cleaner because of what's going on. But this was able to help me delegate in the past, and this is what keeps me on my toes right now. Okay, so I'd organize that. Then I'd go and pull up my Google Calendar and Trello. Google Calendar right now has nothing put in for next week. So I'm going to put in dates and times of my work and different events and birthdays into the calendar, and then I'll have all of that set. I have it attached to my phone, of course, and then I get reminders and event notifications for that. One of the most important things with Passion Planner and what I do right now as far as planning goes is that I don't actually, well, that's not true. I have in the past gone back and forth with adding like time blocks of where I'm going to do things, but that's very frustrating for me. Oh my gosh. Wyatt, give me a minute, my love. Okay, where was I? So the Google Calendar is where I actually like organize my day and online digitally. And here is mainly just to take notes and figure out where I'm supposed to be focusing my attention on the week, because that is where I struggle the most, is focusing and figuring out and putting my time where it actually matters. That's one of the reasons why I use the sheet cards, is because it gives you permission to not do everything at once, because I'd get really stressed thinking, okay, I'm going to vacuum the floor, so I need to do X, Y, and Z more, or I'll notice something's wrong, or I need to clean something. Well, I know that my heavy cleaning day is on Monday, so I will get to it on Monday. Today, I have to focus on something else. So that's where Passion Planner, apart from just the strategy of goal planning, has really helped me, is just making sure that I'm focused and I know what it is that I'm supposed to be spending my time on. So apart from that, what I would do is then review my July month layout here. So I just pull open July. I'm sorry, this is kind of messy. Like, I'm not a decorative planner in any sense of the word. And this feels very personal. I don't know how people do this. So I have all of my Artist Ways. Oh my gosh, there's a huge mosquito. The boys kept the door open. So anyway, I have all my Artist Ways on here that I'm crossing off as I go. I've been doing it every single day, which I'm very proud of, but I also really love doing the morning pages. And then I have different dates that we've talked about as far as events go, like silly little dates and more important things like birthdays that are written out into my month. And that's something that we do at the very beginning of the month with our family council. So you'll see me do this next week in this video. Below that, I have projects that I've kind of brainstormed based off of my game changer. So halfway through the month, Passion Planner was awesome, and it went through what it is that we want our life to look like, which I don't really want to show you. I think I'll blur that out. And then also what my game changer is, which I'm not sure I want to show you either. So, like I said, it's super personal. So then I kind of review everything just to make sure that I'm staying on track. And if I do write something, I want it to go back to what it is that I actually want to accomplish this year. And then after I do that, I will review the things that were good that happened last week and note them on the week. So there is a little area in Passion Planner, which I see people all the time in Plan With Me's. And, you know, there's no wrong way to do it, of course, but they all write things out and make them their own. And that's part of, again, like the creativity that I love with the Plan With Me videos. But at the same time, it's a system. Like there's reasons why everything's in there. And so I really love the good things that happen section. And I always use it every single week. And that's just to give you a juxtaposition, I guess, another viewpoint of someone that actually like makes use of everything that's in the Passion Planner. So I note things just like a bullet point. I review what happened during the week and the good things that happened, even things that weren't noted in there. I might look at photos or something like to jog my memory, but I usually don't have to. And then after that, I make sure that the time commitments are noted that are in Google Calendar, or put them in there. So like I was saying, that calendar is blank. So I need to make sure I add them. And then I add any notes. Even like with where I work, I'll add the address in there because I just like the look of it. And I like just feeling like if for some reason something happened, there's just extra notes. I don't know. And then I make sure that alerts are set, especially for like bills due or birthdays, things that I need to have sent out by a specific date. I make sure that it alerts me on my phone. And then I'll note the time commitments on the day layouts. So if I go into, and it has this nice little green tab guy. And then, so I'll go into the week, and here at the beginning of the month, I've already written out those dates that were important from the monthly viewpoint. So then I'll go and I'll just kind of write down, so time commitments, and I'll do, say, like I have one right here. I'll make sure that it's just kind of noted here as I'm going to be busy during this time, but I'll try and make it really set aside so that I still have all of this space to be able to do to-do lists. And even this week, what I was thinking about doing was having like a category. So you would write like time commitments and label them down there. But I don't know. I might just keep doing this week. So after I do that, I look at what my week's focus is. I know that I have it written down here that I would next figure out my week's focus, but I don't think I do that because it's usually I'm trying to figure out where my time is spent already. And I look back at my game changer and I try and figure out, I'll brainstorm in the space of infinite possibility. And it changes every week what I use this space for. Like last week I used it as notes from Artist Week, week 3, or Artist Way week 3. I wrote down quotes and different notes and things like this in this space. And then the week before that, I used like their habit tracker, where it's a free printable and you can print out just like blank spots and fill it in. And I didn't like doing that, so I don't think I'm going to do that again. My favorite way to do it is to just brainstorm how it is that I'm getting closer to my game changer, and maybe anything that I worked on last week that'll move me forward, and why I didn't accomplish it. I'll kind of break down the different problems and then try and create solutions. So say it would be the game changer in the middle here, and then outside would be a problem. And then from here, it would be solutions that I could work towards, and that would be my infinite space of possibility. Or space of infinite possibility. It's not an infinite space, it's a very small space, actually. So, yeah, I guess I do write my week's focus here, because you have to figure out, I don't know, it's kind of like you use this in conjunction with whatever it is in the month that you are trying to accomplish, or what your game changer is for the next 3 months, what goal you want to work on next, and write the week's focus in here. And then from there, I brainstorm the game changer, and then I'll go into the to-do list and write out anything that I've worked out as far as a solution to a problem would go in here. Like last week, I made it all super fun. The kids are bugging me about going to the lake again. So I don't know, maybe you can't see it. Like I made it all just really fun, and I'll break it down in each category. So I'm basically going through these bullet points and putting them into the to-do list. So there's top priority, priority, and errands. And I usually do stick with this space and what it is that they've already created here for me. I also add in things like, so then I'll break it down into different categories and say like I have bar and dance. I'll create it in one little box. Another one might be YouTube and the different areas in my life. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just keep it into one area depending on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish that week. And we'll break down all of those points. But anyway, you're working from top priority and then down. And then below that, I do have errands. Whereas during the pandemic, a lot of it changed to things that I have to buy online or places online that I need to focus my time. So rather than just mindlessly scrolling through the news headlines, I know that I need to be in the bar Facebook group, which I don't have anymore. It's another video I could talk to you about. So after I work out my to-do list, then what I do is I add in the sheet card items. So anything that's organized in here, I might add into the personal to-do list as far as like if they're bigger items that are less routine, such as scrubbing the cabinets in the kitchen or something like that. And then from there, what I do is take this to-do list item and move it over to my daily focus. And that's super helpful because in that day, you know to put over any to-do list items that have to do with that one focus over onto that day. And that'll be based off of what my schedule as far as committed events and times, appointments, whatever that looks like too. So if it's a work day, I'm probably not going to be scrubbing kitchen cabinets and doing things that are taking big chunks of my time out of the day. Then meal plan for the week, and that's where especially using the Trello board comes in. I have all of my food recipes and things from books that I really love or ebooks. I have all of them inside this Trello board, and I need to organize this. I could do I've done a video on Trello before on our Dono's channel. Maybe I'll do one over here on my personal channel, but it's really helpful and it saves a lot of time because you can search through things and add things. I really like it. And I've used it for a few years now. And then, and also the meal plans, I'll kind of write them in here. So like at 6 o'clock, I would write D with an underline and then write out what it is that I will be making. And that will help me to just, again, plan out my day. Because a lot of things I do make from scratch. So if bread is included, I'll know on Tuesday I need to bake bread and I'll make that as a to-do list item. And then last, I'll add color if I want to. Like last week, I used pink highlighter, but I really try not to use color. I don't know what it is, but I just love having just it really basic and be able to make a lot of markups on it and erase things. And I like that feeling of not having to completely, I don't know, I just really like the feeling, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. That's another video. So anyway, I got to go to the lake. Sundays I'm going to do plan with me videos. Obviously, this wasn't very much of a plan with me video and more of how I plan. This channel is going to be dedicated to the business side of Jennifer Dono and what creative pursuits I'm taking and sharing that with others as I go along so that it's a fun little adventure for all of us to take part in. And then also just I'd like to chat with more people online, and this is something I'm interested in, so why not share it? Subscribe for more Plan With Me videos. If you're doing Artist's Way, you might like the Wednesdays morning pages right with me. I'm not sure if I'm doing those live or not. And then, yeah. All right. I hope everyone's having a good summer, and I will see you around. That was really hard.